What's up, everyone? This is Silver Slayer, and welcome. Thank you for tuning in. If you want a chance to win some silver, click subscribe, go in the description. That's the entry video. It's still open, so good luck, everyone, and may the luckiest stacker win. Now, I'm going to tell you something, and if you don't watch my channel, then you probably didn't know this. Silver was the #1 performing asset in 2020. It beat Tesla stocks, it beat Amazon, it beat everything. But nobody talked about it because they didn't want to admit that silver was the best investment, because a lot of people were bearish on it. A lot of people talked down on silver, so they kept quiet. If it would have been Tesla or Amazon, you would have seen articles and headlines everywhere. But since silver was, nobody talked about it, didn't want to admit it. And we're going to be going over a best to worst list, talking about 85 different assets from stocks, bonds, currencies, commodities, and other ranked from the best 2020 performance to the worst. The top performer was silver, and gold appeared number 11 on the list. So this is going to be interesting, folks. I mean, I've talked about this in the past, that silver was the best performing asset. Some people thought I just make stuff up out of my head, or I'm just, kind of speculating. But no, when I say these things, I'm being literal, right? This silver really was. And we have even another article we're going to be going over as well, talking about the actual returns. And yeah, this should be a very educational video. Make sure you like it, share this video, let other people know what's up. I mean, silver definitely is coming up, and a lot of people don't like that, right? Because we've been talking about silver for years on this channel. Silver stacking community is growing, and so many people talk down on silver. But guess what? Silver stackers always get the last laugh. And we have they're even saying that 2021 could be an even better year for silver and gold. And also keep in mind, gold broke past $2,000, the highest price gold's ever been through the history of 5,000 years. So yeah, the link to these two articles will be in the description. Let's jump straight into it. So on January 4th, 2020, issue of the Wall Street Journal, they included a section for reviewing financial markets of the year 2020. On page R2, it listed about 85 assets from stocks, bonds, currencies, commodities, and other, ranked from best 2020 performance to worst. The top performer on the list was silver, and gold appeared in the number 11 spot. For 2020, the price of gold rose $375 from $1,500 to basically $1,900, the greatest calendar year dollar amount increase ever as a percentage rise. It was the highest since 2010. Silver's price rose from essentially $9, from $8.58, from $17.83 at the end of 2019 to $26.41 at the end of 2020. This was its highest dollar amount increase in percentage in any calendar year since 2010. In 2020, gold significantly outperformed every one of the 28 foreign currencies I track, every major world stock index I track except for the NASDAQ and platinum. It topped the results from all other non-numismatic assets I track except for silver and palladium. Since silver's price increase in 2020 not only surpassed that of gold, it topped all of the currencies, stock, and other commodity markets that he tracks. So a major reason for the strong rise in gold and silver prices last year was the weakness of the dollar. After reaching a 17-year peak on March 19th, 2020, and that was also when silver was $11, March 2020, the U.S. dollar index then fell 13% to close out 2020. Just before the end of December, the U.S. dollar index reached a 32-month low. So it's very important to look at this. The dollar was at a 17-year peak on March 19th, 2020, and that's the same month that silver was at $11. There is a negative direct correlation to the dollar index in silver prices, or precious metals in general. When the dollar index is high, gold and silver is low, and when the dollar index is low, gold and silver is high. So knowing that, do you really think the dollar index is going to stay strong over the next several years? No. So we can literally guarantee gold and silver prices are going to be higher. So as well as gold and silver performed in 2020, my opinion is that there is a strong likelihood that the 2021 increases will be even greater. The major reason for his judgment comes from reviewing the announcements and actions of the U.S. government, Federal Reserve, and the International Monetary Fund over the past 16 months. So obviously, this article was written when January 2021. So we have a little bit of, we kind of know what happened from these thoughts. But I really want to go into the numbers. So let's look at this. So as measured in US dollars, not adjusted for inflation, which is good, here is how gold and selected other assets have performed from December 1999 to December 21st, 2020. So that's a long back date to really get an idea. Gold, 557%. Palladium, 458%. Silver, 388%. Some other things, some stocks, platinum. So yeah. Then you can see, I'm trying to peso, negative 52%. So, so let's look at this. So as you look at the stellar performance of gold and silver over the past 21 years compared to others, assets, realize these results are really even more impressive than listed. The U.S. government, through the Exchange Stabilization Fund of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York's primary trading partners, Allied Central Bank, and the International Monetary Fund and Bank for International Settlements, have devoted hundreds of billions of dollars or more to suppress gold and silver prices during this time frame, and also used trillions of dollars to prop up stock markets. Despite the interference, gold and silver still outperformed U.S. major stocks. So that's a good point. He's saying, the Federal Reserve and all they're devoting hundreds of billions of dollars to suppress gold and silver prices, but also using trillions to prop up stock markets. But gold and silver still outperformed all these stocks by far. 557%. Silver was at 300 and something. It's crazy to think about, right? And I like this one because it talks about the actual return of 2020. So, and what do you think about that? I mean, obviously, we know that, they're trying to suppress gold and silver prices. Ted Butler wrote an article I covered on this channel a couple weeks ago exposing the corrupt financial system, spoofing all these manipulation tactics to try to undermine silver. And especially the biggest case was in 1980 when the Hunt brothers pushed the price of silver up to $50. And then the U.S. government literally banned the act of buying silver. They banned silver. Shot the price down from $50 all the way down to its before price was like $14. The U.S. government single-handedly banned silver. You could not buy silver. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not using wordplay like, oh, you could still, but no, you literally couldn't buy silver. They cut it off, and it's actually called Rule number 7. It's called Rule 7. And then it got so bad, they called it, there's another one a couple months later, it's called Silver Thursday, when the entire market collapsed within 3 days, cut back like 50% or something. So there's Silver Rule 7 and Silver Thursday, and that's from the Hunt brothers. The government had to step in and basically just collapse the silver market because there was an extreme supply shortage. They only had enough physical silver to cover 1 month on the exchange, the month of October, for the SLB, or I forget which one it was, but yeah, there's a massive silver shortage. They need silver for these industrial these industrial applications, the industrial sector, and the way that they were going to keep their supply, their physical supply of silver up, is by banning silver and making everyone sell it. And you could only sell it to, of course, big bullion, because you could still sell your silver, you just couldn't buy it. But you couldn't sell it to individuals like you and I. You had to sell it to, banks or big bullion dealers, which probably then had to sell it. But it kind of reminds me of the gold confiscation I've covered a couple times in this channel. And when I say they confiscated your gold, they're not kicking in your front door and stealing your safe, but it's illegal to own gold, and you have to sell it to the banks. And yes, they'll pay you, but you have to sell it, which is interesting. And it's scary to think if the government would ban silver back in 1980 because the price was $50 and there was a silver shortage. That's very similar to what's happening today, right? There's a silver shortage. You have Wall Street Silver that's kind of cornering the market like the Hunt brothers. And if the government needs to step in because there's not enough silver to make these electric vehicles and these solar panels, and would they ban silver again? Would they ban the act of buying it so they could have it all for themselves? Who knows? I made a video covering that the other day as well. So this is how every asset class, currency, and S&P 500 sector performed in 2020. So let's look at this. So maximum drawdown in 2020, yearly open, the returns, and return 2020 low. So silver has 47% returns, gold 24%, stocks 15%, treasury 3.6%, dollar index 0.5%, U.S. real estate 46%. So let's look at this real quick. So how every market performed in 2020 has been a volatile year for financial markets and their participants, with some of the largest price fluctuations imaginable across just about every single asset. And that's rightfully so. I mean, that was right when, everything happened. So let's look at this. I'm trying to just highlight some of the main points. I don't like telling you guys stuff you don't need to know, right? I'm a very straightforward, straight to the point type of person. You clicked on this video to find out about silver and not all this other stuff. If you want to look at that stuff, I always post the links in the description, but I want to I see a lot of other YouTube channels doing that, and personally myself, I don't like that, so I'm sure you guys don't like that either. So gold finished up the year with 24% 24% increases, or returns, but it's down from its all-time high of $2,075 achieved on August 7th, which I was talking about earlier. That's when gold was the highest price it's ever been. So gold was also resilient thanks to its strong start in January, which is 4.8%. Silver performance was also sterling, pun intended, offering investors 47%, despite a negative 34% pullback in March, and that was when prices were $11. So 2020, silver 47.4%, gold 24%, stocks 15%, corporate bonds 9.7%. Yeah, Canadian stocks 2.8%, U.S. dollar negative 6.8% returns. So yeah, silver was the number one performing asset. I mean, numbers don't lie. You can try to debate this stuff. Someone can click on this video that tries to bash silver or act like we're all crazy or whatever, but you can't make this stuff up. You can't argue this. You can't debate that. And a lot of people, they, just like with Bitcoin, I've been telling people to buy Bitcoin since it was $1,200. Since 2016, I've been talking about Bitcoin. I actually had a how to buy Bitcoin for beginners video. It had like over 200,000 views. breaking down how to buy it, how to sell it, which wallet to transfer it in, all that stuff. And I remember when I looked at the video, the price of Bitcoin was $1,200 at the time of recording that, and a lot of people used to shame me back then. They basically de-owned me from the silver stacking community because they said I switched over, which isn't true. I still was buying silver. I was still making silver videos. I just thought Bitcoin was interesting, and I wanted to teach people because it was very confusing back then. So I learned it myself because I am a content creator, and I wanted other people to also know how to easily invest because it was not easy back then. So I kind of dumbed it down. But regardless, same type of situation. People heard me back then and they said I was crazy, or they said that Bitcoin was a scam or whatever, and now they see Bitcoin up to $60,000 when they could have made a lot of money, and now they feel silly, and instead of taking that they have ego, so then they in return try to bash me, or they don't want to admit that they were wrong, so that insecurity comes out in the form of negativity towards me or towards whoever, when it shouldn't be about that. Investors need to look at things, take it for as it is. You can kick and scream and whine and feel guilty, but how is that going to help your investing strategy? You could say, look, okay, that's times are changing. I was wrong about that, but now what can I do to try to adjust and adapt to now get in and do this? And right now is the perfect time to get into Bitcoin, as it's down 50% from its all-time high. Right now is a perfect time. It's $30,000. It was just $60,000. The market corrected. I can guarantee when it goes back to $60,000, everyone's going to be buying it again. But that's too late. Buy it right now while nobody's talking about it. Buy it right now while the price is low and it's settled. See, when most people are buying, you should be selling. When most people are selling, you should be buying. You know how many people are probably selling their Bitcoin right now because they thought it was a bad investment? They bought in at 60K, and now their investment's way down in the red, where it's at like 30 something thousand. They thought they sell it because they don't have patience. They thought it was a bad mistake. And in reality, right now, you should be buying it and then sell it when it's at the high, when everyone's talking about it, when celebrities are talking about it, when it's all over the news. That's time to sell. So literally, when most people are selling, you should be buying. And when most people are buying, you should be selling. It's just literally how it is. Buy low, sell high. Buy the dip, sell the tops. Don't buy high and hope it goes higher. That's gambling. See, we're investors. We make strategic decisions. It's a strategy. So anyway, sorry for my little rant. So anyways, let's look at this. So, we're talking about Bitcoin a little bit. Bitcoin broke. Well, that's right there. I was just talking about that. But obviously, Zoom is going to be up there. Obviously, Moderna, which that would have been a great. That stuff is that. I mean, Zoom was an obvious one that we should have considered. I'm not really into stocks that much. I mean, I don't know. I have invested in the past, but I focus more on silver and a little bit of Bitcoin. I'm going to start buying a little bit of Bitcoin again. But if I do, I use the profits to then reinvest into precious metals, which is the way to go. Right? A lot of people say you're contradicting when you promote silver and then you buy something digital. It's like, I'm an investor. This is an investing channel, right? We invest, we take opportunity where it is, and then you could use the profits to do what you want. And for me, reinvest that into something that's real money. But anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. It's been pretty long. The link to these 2 articles will be in the description. If you thought this video was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to go enter my 47K giveaway. Click subscribe. Click the bell so you get notified when these entry videos get posted and, when I announce the winner. Because I got more giveaways, 48, 49, and 50K giveaways. 2 winners per giveaway. So lots of silver given out to lots of different people. It's fun times. Plus, I post daily videos, which is the main reason why you should be subscribing anyways. So, yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Next video will be at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard, so tune in for that as well. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.